want to bring Tonya Bailey-Jones to the stage.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Are you all ready to occupy? When Cheryl and I first met, actually, I was referred to Cheryl by Patrice Washington, my coach, to come and stand in her place today. And that was 9 months ago. And I was telling my friend, my partner over there, my 2x2, that when we met, that was an inception 9 months ago. It was like we conceived together at that time, and here it is 9 months later, and we're birthing together. So I am excited, and Cheryl and I have spent hours, and the first time we talked, we were on the phone for 4 hours. It was a 30-minute call. But we were feeding one another so much that it was like we couldn't get full. We couldn't get full. We couldn't get enough of the conversation. So I'm excited to be here to help all of you occupy. But you cannot occupy if you're like that third person in the parable. If you're broke, busted, and disgusted, you cannot occupy. Because occupy means to do business. And going to the part that says disgusted, that has nothing to do with dollars and cents. That has to do with what's on the inside of you. You're disgusted about something. So we have to realize what occupy actually means and what wealth actually means. Because if you look, we have to have wealth to occupy. So first we're going to start off with, let me see if my little clicker is going to work. We're going to define for ourselves right now what wealth means. Each of you has a colored index card. And I want you to take a moment and write on whatever side. So some of us like to write on the empty side. Some of us like to write on the line side. Right now, I want you to write on the opposite side of what you'd prefer to write on. So if you like writing on the line side, I want you to go on the opposite side and write on the blank side. So I want you to write your definition of wealth. Your definition of wealth. Right now, what do you define as wealth? Define wealth for yourself. Okay. Can someone be brave enough to give us their definition of wealth right now? Your hand was the first one.
Wealth is financial freedom, health, family, and freedom and choices.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Someone from this side, you want to give me? Oh, look, y'all, they making me run. Let me go.
Wealth is having joy, peace, and living in prosperity.
Amen. I love it. I'm going to give you the definition that I use, which is according to my wonderful coach, Patrice Washington. And her definition of wealth is the condition of well-being and happiness. Simple. The condition of well-being and happiness. And that comes from a 12th century definition from an old English word called weal, W-E-A-L, which means well-being. It means welfare and wealth. And that was the definition until 1430 when the world turned it around to remove well-being and only make it to mean riches and prosperity. And believe me, there is nothing wrong with being rich. There's nothing wrong with being prosperous. That is what the Bible says about us. But it's not the only thing, because we have to understand that it includes who we are. Wealth is about us, not about money. So we need money though, right? Because money opens the doors and solves problems. But money is the result of knowing what you really want and who you need to be to receive it. That is how we attract money. We receive money. So money is a result of something. It is not what you go out to attain. Money is what you attract to you, and it's useful. And In the beginning, when I say what you truly want means your desires. And if you are a Christian, we all know where our desires come from. Our desires come from God. God placed the desires inside of us, and then he spills those desires out by giving them to us. So God gives us the desires of our heart, not only tangibly, but he places them in there. And the way he does that is by you seeking him. You seek first God and his kingdom, and all those things will be given unto you. Okay? So that includes your desires. So I want to talk to you about an approach called redefining wealth. And this is the trademark approach for Patrice Washington. And it is based upon her 6 pillars of wealth. And those pillars are fit, people, space, faith, work, and money. And when Patrice first started working with these pillars, she had them columned, as in columns. Like, I can't say this word, but I'm gonna try it. Columnar. Is that right? So, and people would go to the pillars and they say, okay, now I gotta work on my fit pillar. Okay, let me move over and work on my people pillar. And then I'm gonna work on my space pillar. But you realize that these pillars are inextricably linked. You cannot pull them apart. You can't work on one without working on the other. They're all together. So I am going to go through real quick and tell you what these pillars are. So the fit pillar is about becoming your best self. I guess I can't move away from it, huh? People pillar is about establishing relationships that matter. Your space pillar, setting up your life to support you. Faith pillar, believing in something greater than yourself. Work pillar, living your life's purpose. And then money, that's about attracting the prosperity that you desire to have. Keyword, attract. Not toil, not go get it, but attract it to you, okay? Remember when I said that money is the result of what you want? It's all about your desires as a daughter of the King and who he says that you are. So I want to explain the framework for redefining wealth. If you look at this framework, at the bottom is the fit pillar, and it's all about you. You are the foundation of your wealth. If you are not well, nothing else works. Wealth starts with you. So when we talk about fit, we're talking about mental, emotional, physical. So what is your attitude about yourself in those spaces? If you're thinking that you can't, you're not good enough, how can you be wealthy thinking you're not good enough? Good enough for what? God says that you are the daughter of a king. That's your base. Like that's the minimum that you are. The daughter of a king is your minimum? Yes, it is. Because God is going to tell you what he wants you to do in this earth, and that is who you really become. So you have to know who that is. What is God saying about you? That foundation has to be set in order for the other pillars to actually stand on that foundation. If you are not well physically, emotionally, mentally, things are going to lean. The pillars are going to open up and things are going to fall apart. What's in the middle of this? If you see it's money, you're not going to get your money. It can't be attracted to you if you don't even believe that you're worthy of getting it. So we're going to go clockwise on this from the bottom, and then there's your people pillar, establishing relationships that matter. And if you look right into the Pentagon, yes, I don't want to say the other one, the Pentagon, you'll see where it says language. Place yourself in relationships where the language is building you up and not tearing you down. let me let you know, gossip tears you down. Whether they're gossiping about somebody else or not, when you are engaging and indulging in gossiping, that is not a relationship that you should be in. When we're establishing relationships, we want relationships personally and business-wise, professionally, that build us up. So when we're talking, we want to be using language that is uplifting. Sister, you got this. There's no doubt in my mind, and I don't want there to be any doubt in yours. You got this. That's the relationship that you want to build. In this room, you can start a relationship right now. Cheryl and I didn't know her. Now, man, she is so inspiring. I wish I could tell y'all the things that she's done to elevate my language about myself. And she called me to come speak. So relationships are symbiotic, right? They feed one another. When I'm down, you lift me up. When you're down, I lift you up. Those are the relationships you have to have. And our family and friends, yes, they belong to us. But that doesn't mean they belong in that inner circle. And we have to be willing, I'm getting ahead of myself. We have to be willing to take those relationships from that inner core and kind of put them on another level. And that's okay. That's okay. So once we move from there, our space. Our space is about setting up our life to support us and open up the capacity to receive what we're believing God to send us, right? Let's think mentally. If you are thinking about money all the time, how is it God's going to deposit the ingenuity for you to go get the money? You can't be thinking like, I ain't got this and I ain't got that. Oh, what I'm going to do? You can't think that way. Your job is to think, Lord, what are you sending to me that's going to create what I need in this moment? You are the great creator. You created me. So I am creative. I am innovative. I can do this. Because why? Because he said so. So we have to make sure that we are creating our office space, our cars. If you're getting in your car on your way to work and it's a mess on the inside of it, you may not realize it, but the energy in that car is draining you before you even get to work. It's draining you before you even get to work. So how can you go and be as effective and productive as you need to be? You can't. So let's move to faith, believing in something greater. I'm a Christian. I believe in Christ. He died on the cross, was risen 3 days later, and now he rose, baby. He rose. And now I have the Holy Spirit living inside of me. So that's what's inside of me, right? That's the greater that I believe in. So I hope y'all with me on that greater, believing in something greater than yourself. And you'll see on here when it comes back up, what are you practicing? What are you doing to make your belief in what you say you believe in? Are you getting up and reading your word? Are you doing the things that you are supposed to do to increase your faith to help your belief to step in what God has for you? That is your responsibility, and it's one of the pillars here. And then your work pillar, your life's purpose. You have to know what it is. You don't discover it, you uncover it, because it's already in there. It's already in there. Don't go racing, running, looking for it. Ask him. Ask him. When you seek first God and his kingdom, all of these things will be given to you. That includes revelation of your purpose. When you were made, it was already given to you. So you have to kind of massage all these other areas so that you can realize and come into walking into your purpose. Okay? And then money. When you get all this other stuff together, your money comes to you. Money is currency, it flows. So if any of these other areas are blocked, your money can't flow to you. If your space is blocked, your money can't get in. If your mentality is blocked, your money can't get in. If your purpose is blocked, your money can't get in. So we're attracting money to us. We don't have to go toil for it. We don't have to go just toil and kill ourselves. Who was that said? The hustle and grind. can't last forever, but your purpose can. Your purpose can. So let's go to, how does the redefining wealth framework correlate and have a relationship with the Occupy equation? The ladies here are going to talk to you about the components of the Occupy equation. Cheryl, am I getting ahead? Are they supposed to know this? Okay. So I'm going to real quick go through this. So in your fit pillar, that is where your wellness and identity. Can you see how that relates to the wellness and identity in the Occupy equation? So when you have your wellness and identity intact, then you are in fact working on your fit pillar. Your relational return on investment, your relational ROI, building relationships that work is your people pillar. That's how those two relate. Your space pillar and your faith pillar is your rest and grace. You can't rest in a space that's chaotic. You cannot rest in a space that is chaotic, mentally or physically. And work, where am I? Yeah, work goes with wealth, work and money. But I want to talk about faith. When we talk about grace, there is grace as in God is giving you things that you don't deserve, right? But there's also a grace that means empowerment, that he empowers you. He graces you to do that thing that you need to do. And so you have to have that rest and grace and know where that's coming from and exercise it. That's in your faith pillar. And then work and money, that's wealth. That combines to make the Occupy equation of wealth. So where are we going next? So you're probably wondering why I'm here to talk about this. So I am a student of Patrice Washington. And do y'all see these pictures here? I said, okay, let me find a couple of pictures of one of Patrice and one of me and put them so people can see what redefining wealth looks like. And look at our poses. That blew my mind. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm like a mini Patrice Washington. But this is what redefining wealth looks like. I believe Patrice recognized that in me, and that's why she sent me here to talk about redefining wealth. But why? Why? Because in 2020, when we were going through the pandemic, that was my breaking point. I found myself lying in bed one night with thoughts in my head that were impressing up on me to take my own life. I am a retired naval officer of 20 years. I'm married. I have a beautiful home. I have two beautiful daughters. I have now what's going to be 4 grandkids. At the time, I had 2 grandkids. Life from the outside, of people outside looking in, they thought I had it going on, okay? But inside of me, internally, there was some turmoil. And I found myself in the middle of the night thinking, why am I here? What is my purpose? And the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So he was trying to kill me in that moment by telling me you have no purpose. Why are you here? He was trying to destroy me standing right here on today talking to you all by taking me out. My husband woke up and wanted to take me into the hospital. And of course, Commander Bailey was like, no, I'm not going to the hospital in a mental health crisis. But he made me promise that I would go and seek assistance. And that assistance for me began with mental health therapy. I started an intensive round of mental health therapy. I had to be placed on antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications for a while to support me to get me back where I needed to be. Well, I was turning 50 that year. The hurricanes came. I'm from Lake Charles. Yeah, so the hurricanes were taking us out over there, right? Huh? Oh, thank y'all. Yeah, I slid that in there on y'all, huh? So yeah, and that year, I think that's why I was trying to figure out, I'm 50. What am I doing? We talked about homeschooling last night. I had an attempt at homeschooling my daughter and it failed. I'm like, I'm a failure. Like all this stuff was going through my head, right, y'all? Well, that was November, December, I was in therapy. And in February of 2021, I entered a retreat called the Rachel's Vineyard Retreat. Most of you probably haven't heard of it, but some of you may have. And I want to introduce it to those of you who may need it. Rachel's Vineyard is a post-abortive retreat, a post-abortive recovery retreat. At that time, my abortion history had caught up with me, and I had been running from the shame, the regret, the turmoil of my abortion decisions for 33 years. I had my first abortion when I was 17 years old, and I subsequently had 2 more before the age of 25. And I buried that so deep and put on that beautiful commander mask with all those pearls and jewels and gems just to get by. But the break came in 2020. So thank you. In 2021, I entered the Rachel's Vineyard Retreat, and that's where I began to release the shame, regret, and guilt of my decision. And I began to grieve the loss of my children, because I have the right to grieve the loss of my children, regardless of how they came to be lost. So in February, I entered that retreat. In March, I met Patrice and started in the Purpose to Platform program. And in that program, I learned the 6 pillars of wealth, and I began to work in those 6 pillars of wealth. And that was the beginning of my journey. And since then, I have graced the cover of both local and been in national magazines. The photo on the right, far right, is me in November of 2021, standing up, telling my entire abortive story in front of 500 pro-life advocates at a Life Matters benefit, because that is what God told me to do. That is my purpose, is to save women who are in that 2020 moment I had where Satan wants to take your life because you had an abortion. Nope, he's not going to get you. God still loves you. And I'm here to tell you that. We're in the room, and this is not where this was supposed to go, but hello, Holy Spirit, I will obey. 1 in 4 women have had an abortion before the age of 44. Count the women in this room. I'm not in here alone. That is, I run a podcast, Beauty Beyond the Ashes podcast, and that is based upon me being healed, whole, and free from the shame, guilt, and regret of my past decisions. And those weren't the only bad decisions I made, right? So that's what I do. I help women. But that was the beginning of my journey. And then I went on to receive awards for the way I do speak out about it. I went from not wanting to even mention the word abortion to telling it on a podcast to the world, standing in a room of 60, 70 women, saying what I've done in my past, but I'm talking about my redemption from that. That's the part I want you to see. This is what God does. And for me, wealth is being healed, whole, and free. It's my definition of wealth. So this was last year, October. I was one of 3 people that was asked to speak at Patrice's first 3-day event. And I spoke on redefining wealth. And let's see, what's my next one? I'm here today as the ambassador for redefining wealth. After releasing the trauma and letting go of and grieving my old self and the decisions that I made, I was able to walk into redefining wealth for myself. And I want to help you all do that too. Let me see. All right, let's talk about the redefining wealth continuum. The continuum is how you process from the beginning to the middle to walking into redefining wealth. And it begins with awakening. That's your first stage, the awakening. And your second one is redefining. And we're going to talk more about these. And the third is actualizing, taking action. Cheryl talked about that. You got to do something. You can't hide it. You can't put it in the ground. You're supposed to at least put it in the bank. At least. You have to step into what God is calling you to do to receive your wealth. This is your redefining wealth journey. And one of the things that Patrice talked about last year that's not on here is the next step. And that's where I feel I am, and it's abundance. Being in abundance. I have abundant joy. I have abundant peace. And we talk about dollars and cents. Y'all know this not on my paper. We talk about dollars and cents when we're talking about wealth, and wealth has nothing to do with dollars and cents. You can count all the money in the world in your bank account and still have no peace, have no joy. Okay, where am I going? All right. It's the moment of radical honesty. Patrice coined this phrase, radical honesty, because it's a moment that you have to stand and say, what is the truth about my life right now? And when I say radical honesty, not just honesty, radical honesty, it's that honesty that's going to make you mad about yourself. Be willing to say what the truth is, no matter what hurts you. I had to be radically honest about why I wanted to kill myself. Why am I feeling like I have no purpose? I'm a retired naval officer. I served 20 years in the Navy, and I'm thinking I have no purpose? What? So I had to be honest. What's stealing that from me? What is stealing that from me? All right, y'all ready for some radical honesty time? Take it slow. Okay, I'm going to be gentle with you. We can just, I'll be gentle. So awakening. This is where you come off of autopilot. Where in my life am I on autopilot? Where do I need to wake up? What have I been doing for the last 5, 10, 15 years that's really not working? And it's only because it's comfortable. You're on autopilot. Did you get that degree because your mom wanted you to? And you still working in that degree? Because it's comfortable and it's bringing in the money and paying the bills, but you are so unfulfilled. Wake up. Then the next step is redefining. You need to ask yourself, what do I genuinely desire? What do I genuinely desire? I want you all to close your eyes for me. Close your eyes and envision yourself 1 year from today. Here is where you get to dream a new dream. Ask yourself, when I awaken to what is truly going on in my life and see the things that don't fit well, what is it I truly would like to see? And see yourself there. Who is the woman God called me to be? What assignment has God called me to do? If money was not an option, where would I be? What city am I in? What state? What country am I in? What stage am I speaking on? What do I look like? What's my face look like? Is that middle part of my brow burrow gone? Are my shoulders standing a little higher and a little more pushed back? Am I walking taller? How do I feel? Envision that. That's what you genuinely desire. Open your eyes. Did that bring joy to your heart? That's the beginning of wealth. What you saw, God gave us our imagination because that's where he works our visions. If we were not able to envision that, then how could we actually walk into the vision that God gave us? Imagination is from God. He wants you to take these images and use them for you to move forward with, right? So the next thing is to actualize. What is it that I have to do to make that a reality? So we're going to open up our booklets, and now we're going to do a little work. And the work is going to start with this question right here. Might be uncomfortable, but what are you willing to release to have what you desire? What are you willing to release to have what you desire? The thing that I had to release to have what I desire, I had to release the thought that I would lose my reputation if I told people what I did. I had to risk the demise of who people knew me to be. So open up your booklets. Let's go to it. In your fit pillar, these are the details of the fit pillar. It's your well-being forms the bedrock of your vision. Nurturing your physical, mental, and emotional health generates the energy and the resilience required for the unwavering pursuit of your goals. So you'll look through in your booklet, and it will have, where am I on autopilot in my fit pillar? Identify where you're on autopilot. Are you sleeping in every morning when you should be waking up at least 30 minutes to go walk? Or everybody, me too. And eating. Am I just eating whatever I want to? Honey, this is the first pillar. And listen, y'all, these pillars are in an order because this is where you need to awaken first. Who are you? Where are you not being your best self? So recognize where you're on autopilot and then redefine what it is you'd like to see in this. And then you're going to say, what do I need to do? And so if you're sleeping in 30 minutes, be willing to give up 30 minutes. Be willing to release 30 minutes of sleep. Now we're going to run through these pillars real quick. People pillar. No dream stands alone. We proved that today with Cheryl in the Occupy conference. Nurturing relationships provide vital support, diverse perspectives, which is the language that you use, and the encouragement necessary to propel you forward. In your space pillar, craft an environment that fuels your creativity, your focus, and inspiration. Purposely arrange your space. It will pave the way to a harmonious and productive existence in the pursuit of your purpose. If you can just put a candle in your space that inspires you, a plant, create your environment, and go in your phone and clear out some of them emails and phone numbers that no longer serve you. The ones that you're holding on to just in case he called, delete that. Don't just delete it. It come up and say what he want. No, you know what he want. Delete it. So faith is the thread weaving your vision and resilience. Belief in yourself, and they're going to talk about that in a little while. Believe in yourself and the Holy Spirit that lives within you. And then your work pillar. Aligning with your purpose acts as your compass, your guiding for both your financial success and deep fulfillment. It's all in finding your life's purpose and immersing in endeavors that resonate. It invokes joyful odyssey. That's what you just experienced with your imagination. You can have that in reality. And then your money pillar. It's about your mindset about your money. If you still thinking money grows on trees, you can't say that. You can't go around talking about, I don't have that, money don't grow on trees. That's scarcity thinking. Change your mindset. I don't have it should not be in your vocabulary. There's another way to say that you don't have it. God hasn't sent it to me yet. I'm waiting on it though. Stop saying I don't have it. What do I need to become in these 6 pillars to step into the vision and the life that I desire, to which I have been called to? That's what you're going to do for each pillar in the booklet that I gave you. Pick the pillar that you want them to work on it on their own. Walking through, okay. People pillar? Okay. No dream stands alone. Nurturing relationships provide vital support, diverse perspectives, and the encouragement necessary to propel you. So where in your people pillar are you on autopilot? Is there a friend in your life that's there because she's been there for 25 years? But every time you answer the phone to talk to her, she drains your energy. And you need a nap. And you need a nap. What boundaries are you willing to set with people in your family? I'm including mama too, y'all. Especially entrepreneurs who work from home. Can you go to the store for me? No, ma'am, I can't. I'm working from 8 to 4. I'm working from 12 to 2, whatever your hours are. Can you pick up the kids? No, I cannot. Your sister called. I'm at work. Boo Boo left his backpack. Can you bring it to him? No, I can't. I'm at work too. Set boundaries in your relationships. And that was number 3, actually. So what do I genuinely desire in this pillar? What do you want your relationships to look like? Think about a relationship that will get you where you want to be. So that desire, let's say you want to work with Cheryl and you're not quite understanding how, maybe you're not well acquainted with her. What do I need to do in my people pillar to get in contact with her? What does a relationship with her look like? Is she coaching me? Is she showing me how to set up a financial plan? Is she showing me how to start my business? Write that out. What is it in that relationship that I would like to see? And then number 3 is, what is the first step I need to do to make that happen? It can be as simple as sending her an email on Monday. What's today? Saturday. On Monday, telling her my desires. Some people may be afraid to reach out. Yeah, but you're get over the fear. That's what you would have to release. I have to release the fear that I have of reaching out and asking for what I need. Because she might say no. If she say no, go to the next person. No will not kill you. No will not kill you. Good for y'all on the people pillar? And remember, people is about personal relationships as well as professional relationships. So do that in all areas, because your personal relationships can severely affect what you do in your business relationships. What do you believe is true about you and the world and what is possible for you? There is nothing impossible, because impossible means I'm possible. I'm possible because God says I can do all things through him. Nothing is impossible for God. And redefining wealth helps you to understand how to live your life's purpose, find fulfillment, and earn more without ever having to chase money. Take that card and write on the good side now, your favorite side, your index card. And as we go through today, you can redefine wealth for yourself. So on the top of that card, I want you to write redefine wealth. So as these ladies talk to you today, you are going to incorporate what your new definition of wealth is, using the pillars and what these ladies are going to pour into you today. And these are the Redefining Wealth resources. So Patrice is doing another Redefining Wealth live in October. If you'd like to go, there's the QR code that will take you directly to that page. Atlanta. Yeah, if you're in Georgia, I'm really going to recommend that you go, y'all. It's amazing. It is an amazing experience. And if you want to know a little bit more about Patrice, the Redefining Wealth app is a free app that you can get into the app, and then there are different levels of membership if you want. There's a yearly membership. You can get into the pillars, Redefining Pillars, where I am an ambassador in that program. She's also getting ready to open up Command the Stage, which I will be an ambassador in that program as well. So those are your resources. And then there's little old me. I am the steward of Beauty Beyond the Ashes, LLC, where I house my coaching program. This will take you directly to my website. And my job is to help women to release the shame of their past and live a life of wealth, a life that is healed, whole, and free. That's me, y'all.